Okay, so we talked about a few things today, looked at a few things including finger-picking blues in A. And first of all, we reviewed some turnarounds. There's this one with both fingers on the 5th fret, 3rd and 4th fingers on the 5th fret, 2nd and 4th strings like this. Sharp 9. Okay, we also looked at 2 fingers at the 14th fret. Again, on the I'd probably use the 3rd and 4th fingers, and I'm on the 2nd and 4th strings, but we're at the 14th fret, and we're ending up at the 10th and 11th fret. And then we looked at another one, which is similar to this one in E. Instead, we move it up to the 12th and 10th frets. Okay, and so it's at the 10th and the 12th frets, and you're on the 2nd and 3rd strings, and you've got this high E sounding as a drone. So you hit your A bass note, and you're going to be damping out this D string. So you're going, okay, and then we also looked at a two note, which I think you remember, but just to make sure we're on the same page, your fingers are starting off on the 5th fret. One's on the high E, one is on the D string. And then this one on the D string is just going down by half steps. Okay, then before I get to the finger picking, I just want to review one thing. We looked at a slightly different way of playing the boogie-woogie, which is instead of together, all the notes the 2 notes simultaneously, the double stops simultaneously. We did down up picking, right? And we just played it like that, and then of course you get to your E. So that's a slightly different way to play boogie-woogie. Now, we spent a little bit of time on reviewing our basic blues finger-picking pattern, and the important thing about it is you're always going to have your alternating bass. In this case, on an A7 chord like this. Do 5 and 4 there. Now, since we're in the key of A, when we get to a D7, we're going to do something we don't usually do, which is we're going to rock this thumb back and forth between the 4th string and the 3rd string. So we're going to go. I blew it. Sorry. Okay. And then also another trick that. A lot of blues guys use when they're playing in the key of A and they hit a D chord. They'll do like a D9 with their thumb on the F sharp, low F sharp, and they'll alternate between 6 and 4. So they'll go. So what we did was we also looked at this. We also looked at going here, starting with this voicing of the A7, and then instead of going to D7 in the 2nd measure, we went to an A diminished 7th. Okay, and that's where you keep your thumb keeps going 5 4 5 4, and then when you get to the diminished 7th, it still stays on the 5 4. So we looked at some new chords. and one of the new chords we looked at. And we've gone over these once or twice, but we haven't used them too often. Like here's an E7. It's kind of like this. No, that's not really. That's not a good way to think of it. But here is an E7 at the 5th, 6th, and 7th frets. Right? And so basically we put it all together with a couple of pull-offs and a couple of different chord positions, and we came up with something like this. Slightly different. Ending off a flat 2 chord. It's a B, in this case it's a B7 flat 5. Okay. So then the last thing we looked at was double stops, and they're frequently played in either thirds or sixths. And we looked at let's do it in the key of A, since that's where we did we look at an A? We actually looked at them in E. So let's look at them in E. Actually, there's no reason why we can't look at them in A. So let's try this. We're going to start off with our A note on the 3rd string, 2nd fret, G string, 2nd fret, and then above it, our 3rd, above it is a C sharp. So we're going to go, we'll use these shapes. If you notice, we've got the classic on this 3rd string. We've got whole step, half step, whole, half. So that's how we know it's a major. Okay, but for blues, what's going to work much better is myxolydian, which is the same as major, except that at the end there's a whole step. Instead of a half step. In other words, instead of G sharp to A, G natural to A. So it sounds like this. And I'm hitting the G 2 places. Here's one, the 12th fret, the G natural I'm talking about. And here's the other one. Okay, now the other thing we can do is, see, this might not work so well, but yeah, there's no reason why not. I've done this before. We take the C sharp from the 2nd string and we take it down to the 5th string. And now we've got sixths instead of thirds. A on top, C sharp. Here's my G natural, and here's another G natural. Oops. Right, so that's looking at the guitar horizontally as opposed to vertically, and you can do all sorts of cool things like that. So it opens up some new possibilities. Okay, and that should do it.